Welcome to Wealth Wisdom Daily, where we break the myths that keep people stuck and reveal the money strategies the rich have been using for decades. Here, we don't talk about working harder. We talk about working smarter, scaling faster, and creating income that doesn't depend on your hours. And today, we're diving into one of the biggest differences between how the poor and the rich think about money. The poor chase raises, hoping a bigger paycheck will change their lives. The rich, they chase scaling, multiplying what works, turning one win into 10, and building systems that grow even while they sleep. If your only plan is to earn more by asking more, you're playing the slowest game in money. Let's change that, starting right now.
Why the race for raises is the slowest road to wealth. There's a story I'm sure you've either lived through or heard before. An employee spends 5, 10, maybe even 15 years showing up on time, meeting every deadline, hitting every target, and enduring the constant, often invisible, pressures of the workplace. Then one day, the boss calls them into the office, offers a rare smile, and says, "Congratulations, we've decided to give you a raise." That moment feels electric. You leave the room with the weight of years suddenly lifted. The new number dances in your mind like a trophy. Instantly, your imagination runs wild. Maybe you'll finally buy that car, take your family on that long-awaited trip, or simply feel less anxious when the bills arrive. But here's the problem. A few months later, that excitement fades. Your monthly expenses have mysteriously adjusted upward to match your new salary. Dining out more often, upgrading subscriptions, buying nicer clothes, all justified because I can afford it now. Your standard of living has gone up, but so has your financial pressure. The raise was a sugar rush, not a real transformation. You're right back where you started, waiting for the next raise, like waiting for the next painkiller to numb the same old wound. This is the trap of linear income, where every extra dollar you earn comes from extra hours you work. To earn more, you must work more. To earn a lot more, you must work a lot more. The trouble is, your time is finite, your energy is finite, and your health is finite. If your path to wealth depends entirely on trading hours for dollars, those limits will stop you sooner than you think. Poor and middle-class people grow up with a financial map that looks something like this. Study hard, get a stable job, work hard for a raise, save a little for emergencies. It's a map that feels safe, but it's really the slowest game in money. And in this game, you're not the one holding the controller. Your income depends on someone else's approval. Your boss, upper management, or even the economy itself. A recession, a round of layoffs, and everything you've built over years can vanish in weeks. The wealthy play a different game. They don't climb someone else's ladder, they build their own building. Instead of asking, "How can I convince my boss to pay me more?" they ask, "How can I make this system I've built keep earning for me even while I sleep?" Instead of selling time, they sell value. And value can be multiplied infinitely. Think about it. A writer publishes one book. With a raise mindset, they might think, "How can I sell the rights for a bit more money?" With a scaling mindset, they think, "How can I get this book translated into 10 languages, sold in 50 countries, and turned into an online course?" One way focuses on selling at a higher price. The other focuses on selling to a far larger audience without working more hours. When you focus only on chasing the next raise, you're in a reactive position. You wait, you hope, you place your financial future in someone else's hands. But when you learn how to scale, to expand and multiply what's already working, you take the driver's seat. You don't need permission to earn more. Your income is no longer locked inside an employment contract. It's powered by your vision, creativity, and ability to build systems. A raise can change your year. Scaling can change your life. A raise is like a small stream trickling into your pocket each month. Scaling is like building a dam and turning it into a hydroelectric plant, a source of power that never stops flowing and can light up an entire city. In this journey, I want you to understand something clearly. If you keep playing the permission to earn game, you will always live within the limits set by someone else. But if you decide to build your own money machine, you won't just escape those limits, you'll rewrite the rules entirely. In the next part, we'll dive into the dependency mindset, why so many people need a yes from someone else to earn more, and why that single habit keeps them in the same place no matter how hard they work.
The dependency mindset, why poor people need a yes to earn more. One of the most dangerous traps in personal finance is not something you can see in your bank account. It's not the number of bills you pay each month. It's not the debt you're carrying. It's something much quieter, far more subtle, and therefore far more dangerous. It's the belief, often unspoken, often unquestioned, that before you can earn more money, someone else must give you permission. This is what I call the dependency mindset. It's the invisible chain that ties your financial future to someone else's decision. For employees, that decision maker is usually the boss. For freelancers, it might be a key client. For small business owners trapped in a single contract, it could be one dominant buyer or distributor. The common thread? Your income is not truly yours. It is a number sitting on someone else's desk, waiting for their approval. How this mindset is built into you. Dependency doesn't happen overnight. It's trained into you from childhood. Think about it. In school, you need the teacher's permission to speak, to leave the room, even to go to the bathroom. In your teenage years, you need your parents' permission to go out, to spend money, to choose your own schedule. In your first jobs, you need your manager's permission to take a day off, to change your shift, or to get a pay increase. By the time you are an adult in the workforce, the habit is deeply wired. If I want more, I must get someone to say yes. It feels normal, safe, even responsible. But it's actually one of the biggest financial weaknesses you can have, because it puts the steering wheel of your life into someone else's hands. Why this is so dangerous? When your financial growth depends on someone else's yes, you are structurally limited. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how much overtime you put in, or how loyal you are. If your boss says no, your income stays the same. This dependency turns you into a reactor instead of a creator. You don't set the pace of your own growth. You wait for the pace to be set for you. And the person setting that pace, they have their own priorities, their own budgets, their own interests. Here's the harsh truth. A company's job is not to make you rich, it's to maximize profit for itself. Your raise is not a reward for your potential, it's a cost they must justify. The timing of your growth is not based on your needs, it's based on their numbers. In other words, you can be the best player on the field, but if the coach decides to keep you on the bench, you're not scoring any points. The rich refuse this game. The wealthy learn early that every time you need someone else's approval to make more money, you're in a weak position. They don't want to be at the mercy of a single yes or no. Instead, they build systems, products, and assets that earn money on their own without requiring constant permission. They don't ask, "Can I have more?" They ask, "How can I design a way to earn more without permission?" That might mean creating a side income stream, building a personal brand, launching a small online store, investing in rental properties, or starting a content channel. The details will vary. The principle will not. You can't build exponential income if you're waiting for permission to take the first step. In the next part, we'll break down exactly why relying on linear growth keeps you stuck, and how exponential growth works so differently that once you experience it, you'll never want to go back. Linear versus exponential growth, the hidden gap that keeps you stuck. Most people are working harder than they ever have in their lives, yet they're barely moving forward. They've been told that if they just keep pushing, if they put in more hours, take on more responsibilities, and keep proving their loyalty, their income will keep growing. And technically, it does. But here's the problem. It grows linearly, a straight, slow climb where every small gain costs you more time, more energy, and often more stress. The wealthy know a different kind of growth, one that compounds, accelerates, and eventually takes on a life of its own. That's exponential growth. And once you understand the difference, you'll realize why working harder at a linear game is the surest way to stay stuck. Linear growth, the straight line that drains you. Linear growth means that your output is directly tied to your input. 1 hour of work equals 1 hour of pay. If you want more pay, you must give more hours. It's the most common income model on earth. Wages, salaries, overtime pay. Work 40 hours a week, you get paid for 40 hours. Work 50 hours, you get paid for 50 hours. No work, no pay. Here's the problem. You have a hard ceiling, 24 hours in a day. Even if you work 7 days a week, you're limited by the number of hours you can physically and mentally sustain. And because of inflation and lifestyle creep, every gain you make gets eaten away faster than you realize. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open. You can pour faster, but the water will never rise much. Exponential growth, the curve that frees you. Exponential growth works differently. It's when your effort produces a result that keeps producing more results without requiring the same effort each time. You put in work once, and that work keeps paying you back again and again. The more it grows, the faster it grows. Think of it like planting an apple tree. Linear income is selling apples you pick by hand every day. Exponential income is planting a tree that produces apples every season, year after year, whether you're picking them or not. Examples of exponential growth. A YouTube video that earns ad revenue for years after being uploaded. A software program that people keep downloading while you sleep. A property that brings in rental income month after month. A brand that grows its audience so each new product launches bigger than the last. The hidden psychological gap. Here's why most people never make the leap. Linear growth feels certain. You work, you get paid. Exponential growth feels uncertain. You work now, maybe get paid later. That delay scares people. They'd rather have the security of a small, immediate paycheck than the delayed, much larger rewards of building something that compounds. But the wealthy see that delay for what it is, the incubation period. It's the time when you're building the machine before the machine starts working for you. Once it kicks in, it doesn't just add income, it multiplies it. The trap of linear thinking. If your mindset is more hours equals more money, you will always be chasing. You'll never catch up, because every time you push harder, the world pushes back. Higher expenses, higher taxes, higher stress. Linear thinking tells you to ask for a raise every 2 years. Exponential thinking tells you to build a system that gives you a raise every month, automatically. The power of the curve. Imagine 2 lines on a graph. The first is a straight line that rises slowly, inch by inch. That's linear income. The second starts almost flat, but curves upward, steeper and steeper, until it skyrockets. That's exponential growth. In the early years, the straight line looks better. The curve is barely moving. That's why most people quit. They can't see what's coming. But given enough time, the curve will blow past the line and keep going higher, faster, forever. The wealthy live in that curve. The poor stay on the line. In the next part, We'll go deeper into how the wealthy build systems that separate their income from their hours, so they can ride the curve instead of being chained to the line. The rich build systems, the poor sell hours. If there's one principle that separates the wealthy from everyone else, it's this. The poor sell their hours. The rich sell the results of systems. This single distinction changes everything about how money flows into your life. Because when you sell hours, you are bound by time. But when you build systems, your time is multiplied, sometimes infinitely. Selling hours, the income treadmill. Selling hours means you trade your most limited resource, time, for money. Work 1 hour, get paid once. Work 10 hours, get paid 10 times. Stop working, income stops immediately. This is the default mode for most people. Employees, contractors, even many self-employed professionals. It's the income treadmill. No matter how fast you run, you stay in the same place. You can't leap ahead because the treadmill moves at the same speed as your pay rate. The danger of this treadmill is subtle. You think you're in control because you can choose to work more hours to earn more money, but you're still capped. There are only 24 hours in a day, and not all of them can be sold. Building systems, the income machine. The rich think differently. They ask, how can I create a process, a product, or a platform that earns money whether I'm actively working or not? A system could be a product that sells online 24/7 without you having to personally hand it to each customer. A service business with trained staff and automated processes so it runs without your daily involvement. A digital asset like an app, a course, or a piece of content that keeps generating revenue long after it's created. An investment portfolio that grows in value and pays dividends whether you're paying attention or not. The magic of a system is that once it's built, it can scale. It can handle more customers, more transactions, more impact without requiring more of your hours. The leverage factor. A well-built system gives you leverage, the ability to produce more output with the same or less input. Leverage comes in many forms. People leverage, hiring, delegating, partnering. Technology leverage, automation, software, AI. Capital leverage, using money to make more money. Content leverage, creating once, distributing infinitely. The rich use all of them. The poor often use none. Why most people never build systems? There's a reason most people keep selling hours instead of building systems. Fear of risk. Systems require upfront investment of time, effort, and sometimes money with no immediate return. Comfort with routine. Selling hours feels predictable. Systems feel uncertain. Lack of knowledge. Many people simply don't know how to start building something scalable. But here's the truth. Staying in the hours for dollars trap is the bigger risk, because you're betting your entire future on your ability to keep working at the same intensity for decades. The shift you must make. If you want to move from selling hours to building systems, start with these steps. Identify one skill, product, or service you can deliver without being physically present each time. Document the process so someone or something else can replicate it. Automate or delegate the parts that don't require your personal touch. Then scale by reaching more people without adding more hours. When you're selling hours, your best day is the day you work the most. When you're running a system, your best day could be the day you work the least, because the system is working for you. Leverage, the key to scaling beyond your time. If systems are the engine of wealth, leverage is the fuel that makes that engine roar. Without leverage, even the best system will grow slowly. With leverage, growth can be explosive, turning one small win into a chain reaction of results. The poor and middle class rarely think about leverage. They think about effort.
The rich think about amplification, how to make the same effort produce 10, 100, or 1,000 times the result. What exactly is leverage? Leverage is anything that allows you to multiply your output without multiplying your input. It's the ultimate force multiplier. In physics, a lever lets you move a heavy object with a small amount of force. In wealth building, leverage lets you create huge results from the same or even less effort. The four main types of leverage. 1. People leverage, multiplying yourself through others. This is the oldest and most obvious form of leverage. You train, hire, or partner with others so they can do the work that doesn't require you personally. A CEO doesn't run every department. They have managers. A real estate investor doesn't manage every tenant. They hire property managers. A content creator hires editors, designers, and marketers so they can focus only on the creative vision. Every task you delegate frees you to focus on higher value work. 2. Technology leverage, automating the repeatable. Technology is the most scalable form of leverage in history. A single piece of software can handle thousands of transactions per second, process millions of data points, and serve customers around the clock without fatigue. Email marketing tools that send personalized messages to thousands instantly. E-commerce platforms that process orders while you sleep. AI tools that create, analyze, and optimize content in minutes instead of days. Technology doesn't ask for sick days. It doesn't get tired. It just works. 3. Capital leverage, making money work for you. When you put money into investments that generate returns, you're using capital leverage. Real estate that appreciates in value and produces rental income. Stocks that grow and pay dividends. Businesses you invest in that share their profits. The wealthy constantly put their money into positions where it earns more money, often faster than they could earn by working. 4. Content and media leverage, creating once, selling forever. In the digital age, content is one of the most powerful forms of leverage. You create it once, and it can be consumed infinitely without any extra cost or effort from you. A YouTube video can be watched millions of times after it's uploaded. A book can be sold worldwide for years without rewriting it. A podcast episode can influence people long after it's recorded. Content is the modern printing press. Once you make it, it can work for you forever. Why the poor underuse leverage? Most people underuse leverage because they're trained to value control over growth. They want to do everything themselves to make sure it's done right. But the cost of doing everything yourself is speed, and in wealth building, speed matters. How to start using leverage. List everything you do in a week. Mark the tasks that could be done by someone else, by software, or through automation. Delegate or automate one task at a time. Reinvest the freed up time into activities that grow your system, marketing, innovation, partnerships. Leverage is how the rich turn one stream into 10, 10 into 50, and 50 into an empire. Without it, you're just working harder. With it, you're working smarter and watching results multiply even while you rest.
The law of multiplication, turning one win into 10. Most people celebrate a win and then stop. They land a big client, have a viral post, or make a profitable sale. And instead of asking, how can I multiply this? They simply enjoy the short-term reward and go back to square one. The wealthy think differently. Every win is not the finish line. It's raw material for building the next level. They treat each success like a seed, planting it in as many fertile places as possible so it grows into something much larger. This is the law of multiplication, the principle that every good result you create can and should be multiplied into many more.
Why most people waste their wins? The poor and middle class often see success as an event. You get a raise, you spend it. You have a good sales month, you relax. You finish a big project, you wait for the next assignment. They see the win as an end point, so the energy and momentum fade. The wealthy see success as a resource. You get a raise, you invest the extra into building a side income. You have a good sales month, you reinvest profits into marketing to attract more customers. You finish a big project, you turn the process into a repeatable system you can sell again. Step 1. Capture the system behind the win. A win is valuable not just for the money it brings in, but for the process that created it. If you can document the steps that led to success, you can repeat them, or better yet, have someone else repeat them for you. Example: a small online store creates a product that sells out in 2 weeks. Instead of just celebrating, the owner writes down every step: the design, the marketing campaign, the influencers involved, and uses the exact same playbook for 3 more products. Step 2. Multiply distribution. Once you have something that works, find more channels, audiences, and markets to put it in front of. If one ad campaign works on Facebook, test it on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If one store buys your product, pitch it to 10 others. If one video goes viral, cut it into shorts, podcasts, and blog posts. The goal? Get more mileage from the same effort. Step 3. Add layers of value. One win can become multiple wins if you attach additional offers to it. Example: sell a book, offer an online course based on it. Launch a popular webinar, turn it into a paid replay and a lead magnet for future sales. Release a hit product, create accessories, bundles, or premium versions. This is how Apple sells not just iPhones, but cases, AirPods, subscriptions, and upgrades. Step 4. Reinvest the gains. The wealthy rarely spend 100% of a win. They allocate a portion, often the majority, to fuel the next multiplication. Every multiplied win builds the foundation for bigger wins down the line. Why multiplication beats starting from scratch? Most people keep starting from scratch. Find a client, deliver the work, get paid, repeat. Multiplication means you use what already works to reduce risk, save time, and accelerate growth. You're not climbing the mountain every time. You're building a ski lift to take you higher with less effort. The law of multiplication is why one small success can turn into a career, a brand, or even a fortune. Without it, you'll always be in a cycle of win and reset. With it, each win becomes the launch pad for the next.
The myth that scaling is only for the already rich. One of the most destructive beliefs holding people back from financial freedom is this: I can't scale because I'm not rich yet. It sounds logical. Scaling sounds like something for people who already have big businesses, large teams, or millions in the bank. But that's a myth, and a dangerous one, because it convinces you to delay building your future until someday, which often never comes. The truth: scaling is not about the size of your bank account. It's about the size of your thinking. Why this myth exists? There are 3 main reasons people believe scaling is only for the wealthy. They mistake scaling for expansion. They think scaling means opening 10 stores, hiring 50 employees, or buying massive equipment. That's one form of scaling, the most expensive one, but it's far from the only way. They think they need huge capital. Yes, money can speed up scaling, but creativity and leverage can replace capital in the early stages. Many of the most successful brands in history started with almost nothing but a good idea and relentless execution. They've never seen small-scale scaling. Most examples in the media focus on billion-dollar companies, not on the freelancer,
creator or small business owner who doubled their reach with a smart system. Scaling starts small, always. Every scalable empire starts with something small that works. A single product, a small audience, a single client. And the owner asks, how can I multiply this? An Etsy seller with one hit product replicates the design in new colors and sizes. A personal trainer records their most effective workout plan once and sells it as an online program. A local bakery turns its signature cake into a nationwide delivery business. None of these examples require millions to start, only the ability to recognize a repeatable win. The mindset shift. The poor wait for resources. The rich create with whatever they have. If you wait until you have enough to start scaling, you'll probably never start. Resources grow when you start moving, not before. Scaling is about replication, not just expansion. You don't have to double your expenses to double your output. Often, you can multiply your results without multiplying your costs at all. Practical entry points for scaling with almost no money. Digital products, ebooks, templates, courses, create once, sell forever. Content platforms. A video or blog post can be distributed worldwide at zero cost. Automation tools. Many are free or low cost, allowing you to serve more people without more hours. Partnerships. Collaborate with others to share audiences and resources without spending much. Proof that scaling doesn't require wealth. Amazon started in a garage, selling books one at a time. The scaling came from systems, not money. Sarah Blakely started Spanx with $5,000 in savings, scaled by partnering with major retailers and leveraging media. Countless YouTubers, podcasters, and online sellers scaled to six-figure incomes without outside investment, just by replicating what worked. The real cost of believing the myth. When you believe scaling is only for the rich, you delay your freedom. Every day you operate without scaling, you're stuck in the slow lane, earning linearly, while others, many of them starting with less than you, pass you by. Scaling is not a reward for being rich. It's the reason people become rich.
Where the rich scale first. Scaling isn't random. It's not about throwing effort in every direction and hoping something grows. The wealthy know that scaling the wrong thing wastes time, money, and energy. Scaling the right thing can change your entire financial trajectory in months. The key is this: the rich scale what's already working, and what can work without them being present every moment. Why order matters in scaling. Think of scaling like building a fire. If you scatter kindling everywhere and light it all at once, you'll have small, weak flames that burn out quickly. But if you build one strong fire first, and then use it to light others, you create a chain reaction that keeps growing. Scaling is the same. If you try to scale everything at once, or scale something unproven, you'll spread yourself too thin. The rich start where the return is highest and the process is easiest to replicate. The first things the rich scale. Proven offers. Before scaling, they make sure the product or service already sells consistently. A restaurant scales its best-selling dish into packaged form for grocery stores. An online coach scales their most popular workshop into an evergreen online course. Scaling something that's already proven removes guesswork. You know the market wants it. 2. Distribution channels. Once they have a proven offer, they focus on reaching more people without reinventing the wheel. A local business expands online sales to reach national or global customers. A YouTuber with one viral video turns it into a series and posts it on multiple platforms. A brand that sells well in one retail chain pitches to 3 more. The offer stays the same, only the reach changes. 3. Marketing systems. The wealthy don't scale random advertising. They scale profitable marketing, the campaigns that already bring in more than they cost. If $1 in ads brings back $3 in sales, they increase the spend. They automate follow-ups, email sequences, and retargeting ads so customers keep buying without manual effort. Automating customer onboarding, outsourcing repetitive admin tasks, creating templates and standard operating procedures. Why they don't scale everything? The wealthy are ruthless about not scaling the wrong things. They don't scale a product that barely sells. They don't scale a marketing channel that's inconsistent. They don't scale processes that still require heavy personal involvement. They know scaling something broken just multiplies the problems. How to apply this if you're starting small? Identify your most profitable product, service, or piece of content. Find at least one way to deliver it to more people without much extra work. Document the steps so someone else could run it without you. Scale only after it works consistently. The Wealthy Playbook in one sentence. Find what works, make it work without you, put it in front of more people, repeat. The power of digital assets and passive income. If you pay attention to where the wealthy put their time and money today, you'll notice a clear pattern. They often choose to scale digital first. Why? Because digital assets can be created once and sold infinitely. They cost little to reproduce, they can be distributed globally in seconds, and they work 24/7 without your constant involvement. In other words, digital is the closest thing we have to infinite leverage. What are digital assets? A digital asset is anything you create once that can keep generating value and revenue without needing to be rebuilt each time. Examples include an ebook, an online course, a YouTube video, a podcast episode, a mobile app, a stock photo or music track, a software tool. Once made, these assets can be sold, licensed, or monetized endlessly with almost zero additional cost. Why digital beats physical in early scaling? Physical products require raw materials, manufacturing, inventory, and shipping. Digital products require none of those. If you sell a physical product and want to scale from 100 to 10,000 units, your costs rise dramatically. If you sell a digital product, scaling from 100 to 10,000 sales costs almost nothing extra. This is why wealthy entrepreneurs often start scaling with digital. It removes the growth ceiling and keeps profit margins high. The passive income advantage. Passive income doesn't mean no work. It means no extra work for each extra dollar. A YouTube video you post today can earn ad revenue for years. A course you record once can sell every day without you teaching it live. An app you code once can keep generating subscription income for years. Each sale is the result of past work, not new work, and that's the essence of passive income. How the wealthy build digital streams. Identify a problem or desire. Find something people are already searching for or struggling with, something you can solve or fulfill. Create a digital solution. This could be a tutorial, tool, template, training, or entertainment product. Automate distribution. Use platforms like Amazon Kindle, Udemy, YouTube, Shopify, app stores to deliver your product globally without manual effort. Build evergreen marketing. Content, ads, and email sequences that run automatically, bringing in sales day and night. The compounding effect of digital assets. One digital product is powerful. 10 can be life-changing. Wealthy creators know each new digital asset stacks on top of the last. 10 products don't require 10 times more work to maintain. They just multiply the streams of income. It's like owning multiple rental properties, except they're all stored on servers and require no physical maintenance. Why most people ignore this opportunity? Impatience. They want instant results and underestimate the compounding power over time. Perfectionism. They never launch because they think it has to be perfect. Old school thinking. They still believe the only real business is physical and local. Meanwhile, those who embrace digital early can reach global markets and earn passively, while others are still trading hours for dollars. Bottom line. The wealthy understand that scaling physical products can be powerful, but scaling digital products is faster, cheaper, and can be done from anywhere. That's why they build digital streams first and then reinvest those profits into other scalable ventures.
The mindset shift from employee to system creator. No scaling strategy will stick if you don't first change the way you think. You can copy the tools, the techniques, even the exact business model of a wealthy person. But if your mindset is still that of an employee, you'll end up running your business like a job you created for yourself. The true wealth transformation happens when you stop asking, "How can I do this?" and start asking, "How can I make this happen without me?" Why this shift is so hard? For most of your life, you've been rewarded for doing the work yourself. In school, you got the grade for the work you did personally. In jobs, you got the paycheck for the hours you logged. In freelancing, you got paid for the project you personally delivered. This conditions you to equate your personal effort with your personal value. The idea of stepping back and letting a system, a team, or a piece of software do the work feels almost wrong. But that's exactly the leap the wealthy make, and it's the reason they can scale. When you think like an employee, your first question is, how can I work more hours? When you think like a system creator, your first question becomes, how can I remove myself from the process? An employee stays focused on tasks. A system creator focuses on building the system that gets the tasks done. An employee measures success by how busy they are. A system creator measures success by the results their system produces. An employee waits for instructions. A system creator designs the instructions. And perhaps the biggest difference, an employee thinks in terms of wages, while a system creator thinks in terms of assets. Why this shift is non-negotiable for scaling? If you keep thinking like an employee, you'll build a business that depends entirely on your presence, which means you've just created a more stressful job for yourself. If you think like a system creator, you'll design processes that can run with or without you. That's when you gain true freedom, the ability to earn without constant personal input. Steps to transition your mindset. Redefine your role. See yourself as the architect, not the builder. You design the blueprint and hire or automate to make it real. Stop hoarding tasks. If someone or something can do it 80% as well as you, delegate or automate it. Your job is to make sure it gets done, not to do it yourself. Think replication instead of execution. Ask yourself, if this works once, how do I make it work 10 times with the same effort? Invest in skills that scale. Learn leadership, automation tools, marketing systems, skills that multiply impact, not just output. A small but powerful example. An employee photographer books clients, shoots photos, edits them, and delivers them personally. They are the business. A system creator photographer hires an assistant to handle bookings, outsources editing, and uses online galleries for delivery, allowing them to shoot more clients in less time or even run the business without picking up a camera. Same service, different mindset, different scale. The freedom this shift creates. When you become a system creator, your question changes from, can I take this project, to, Can my system handle this project while I'm on vacation? That's when you stop being a worker and start being a wealth builder.
How to start scaling when you have only one income stream. A lot of people hear the word scaling and think, that sounds great, but I only have one way of making money right now. Maybe it's your job, a single freelance service, or one small business. Here's the truth. You don't need multiple streams to start scaling. In fact, some of the fastest scaling happens when you take one stream and multiply it, turning it from a trickle into a river. The myth that you must diversify first. Most financial advice tells you to diversify as soon as possible. While diversification is important for protecting wealth, it's a slow way to build it from scratch. Wealthy people often do the opposite in the beginning. They focus obsessively on one profitable stream until it's big enough to support them. Then they scale sideways into other areas. Step 1. Make the single stream more efficient. Before trying to add new income sources, squeeze more out of the one you already have. Ask yourself, can I increase the price without losing customers? Can I bundle products or services for higher value? Can I upsell or cross-sell something related? Can I serve more customers without more hours by using tools or help? Example, a freelance designer could create pre-made templates to sell online while continuing to work with clients. The templates require no extra hours for each sale. Step 2. Identify what can be replicated. Look for the most profitable, least time-consuming part of your current work. That's your scaling seed. A tutor with one successful course can record it and sell it repeatedly. A cafe with one popular drink can bottle it and sell it in local stores. A contractor who specializes in one service can train others to deliver it under their brand. Step 3. Remove yourself from the bottleneck. If you're doing every part of the process, you're the limit. Automate repetitive tasks. Outsource lower value work. Create standard procedures so others can deliver without your constant input. The more you remove yourself from the daily grind, the more capacity you free up to focus on scaling. Step 4. Expand distribution. Find more places, platforms, or audiences for your existing product or service. Sell online instead of just locally. Partner with others to reach their audience. Repurpose your work into multiple formats: articles, videos, audio. Step 5. Reinvest the gains into growth. Every time your single stream earns more, resist the urge to spend it all. Allocate a portion to scaling, better tools, better marketing, better systems. This reinvestment creates a snowball effect. The more you scale, the more you earn. The more you earn, the more you can scale. The key principle: don't start from scratch every time. Start from success and multiply it. If you can turn one income stream from small to substantial, you'll have the skills, resources, and confidence to build others much faster. When scaling fails, why it happens and how to fix it. Scaling is exciting. It feels like progress, growth, and momentum. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Scaling done wrong can destroy a business faster than no scaling at all. Many people think the danger is not scaling fast enough. In reality, the greater risk is scaling something broken, because growth multiplies both successes and problems. The top reasons scaling fails. 1. Scaling before proof of concept. The number one mistake is trying to scale something that hasn't been proven to work yet. If you don't have consistent sales, positive feedback, or clear demand, scaling just means you're wasting resources faster. Fix, test small first. Perfect your offer and process before pouring fuel on the fire. 2. Ignoring the numbers. Scaling without tracking key metrics is like flying a plane with no instruments. You don't know your customer acquisition cost, CAC. You don't know your lifetime customer value, LTV. You don't know your conversion rates. Without these numbers, you can't tell if scaling is actually profitable. Fix, set up a tracking system before you scale. Measure, adjust, and only accelerate what's working. 3. Cash flow collapse. Even profitable scaling can kill you if the cash flow can't keep up. More sales often mean more upfront costs, inventory, advertising, staffing, before the revenue comes in. Fix, forecast your cash needs for growth, secure funding, or keep reserves so you can handle the growth curve. 4. Overcomplicating the system. Some people try to scale by adding too many new products, services, or features at once. This creates complexity, confusion, and inefficiency. Fix, scale the simplest, most profitable part of your business first. Complexity can come later. 5. Losing quality. Scaling too fast can make you cut corners, hire too quickly, or ignore quality control. Once your reputation drops, fixing it is far harder than maintaining it in the first place. Fix, build quality control into your scaling process. Document procedures, train thoroughly, and protect your standards. The golden rule: scaling is a multiplier. Scaling doesn't fix a bad business. It just makes a bad business fail faster. But scaling a solid, proven system multiplies success. Think of scaling as stepping on the gas pedal. If your car is well built, you'll go far. If your car has loose wheels and no brakes, you'll crash faster. How the wealthy recover from failed scaling. When a scaling attempt fails, the wealthy don't see it as a total loss. They see it as expensive data. They identify the exact point of failure, simplify the process, then relaunch with tighter systems and clearer metrics. Failure becomes a test run for a stronger, more efficient second attempt. Scaling and financial freedom. Most people hear the phrase financial freedom and immediately think about a number, a certain amount in the bank, a certain monthly income, a certain investment portfolio. But the wealthy know that financial freedom is not just about money, it's about control over your time. Scaling is the bridge between where you are now and that level of control. Because scaling is what allows you to break the direct link between hours worked and money earned. And once that link is broken, you gain something far more valuable than income: choice. Why time freedom matters more than money. If your income depends entirely on your time, you will always be limited. Even if you earn a high salary, you still have to keep showing up day after day to keep the money flowing. True financial freedom means you can choose when to work. You can choose where to work. You can even choose if you work at all. Scaling is the only sustainable path to this because it builds systems, assets, and income streams that keep working whether you're present or not. How scaling creates financial freedom? 1. It replaces active income with leveraged income. Active income stops the moment you stop working. Leveraged income from systems, assets, and automation continues even while you rest. 2. It multiplies the effect of your effort. One project, campaign, or product can generate returns many times over without requiring more of your time each cycle. 3. It gives you ownership of the machine. Instead of being a worker inside someone else's system, you own the system. You control how big it grows, where it goes, and how it runs. The wealthy's three-stage path to freedom. Build one scalable stream. Focus all energy on making it profitable and predictable. Stack multiple streams. Use the first to fund and accelerate others. Automate and delegate.
Remove yourself from daily operations so income becomes independent of your presence. The hidden benefit: mental freedom. Financial freedom isn't just about paying the bills without stress. It's about waking up without the mental load of survival. Scaling gives you the confidence that your needs and your future are already taken care of, so you can focus on bigger goals, passion projects, or simply living life on your terms. A simple truth: without scaling, financial freedom is a slow climb that can take decades, if you ever reach it. With scaling, that same journey can compress into years. The size of your freedom tomorrow depends on the scalability of your income today.
Don't ask permission to get rich. Build the machine yourself. If there's one truth you take from everything we've covered, let it be this: you don't need anyone's permission to get rich. Not your bosses, not the economies, not even the world's approval. Because wealth, true, lasting wealth, doesn't come from someone else giving you a raise. It comes from you building something that pays you whether they approve or not. Why permission is a trap. Every time you wait for a yes to earn more, you're putting your future in someone else's hands. And here's the problem with that: their yes will always come late, be smaller than you hoped, and be tied to conditions that keep you under their control. When you build your own income machine, the only yes you need is from yourself. The machine you must build. Your wealth machine can take many forms: a digital product that sells 24/7, a business system that runs without you, an investment portfolio that compounds over time, a personal brand that attracts opportunities while you sleep. The form doesn't matter. The function does. It must earn without requiring your constant labor. The three non-negotiables of your machine: it must be proven, it works before you scale it. It must be repeatable, the result can be duplicated again and again. And it must be independent. It doesn't need you at every step. The emotional shift. When you stop waiting for permission and start building, something changes inside you. You stop feeling trapped. You stop playing small. You start seeing opportunities everywhere. That's the mindset of someone who will never go back to asking, "Can I earn more?" Instead, they'll ask, "How much more can I create?" Your challenge: before today ends, write down one thing you can build that, once completed, could make money without you having to directly trade time for it. Then commit to building it, not someday, not when it's perfect, now. Because the sooner you start building, the sooner you stop waiting. And the sooner you stop waiting, the sooner you start owning your future. Build once, sell forever. If you want to understand why the wealthy can scale so quickly and why they can keep earning long after the work is done, it comes down to this principle: do the work once, get paid forever. Most people are stuck in a cycle where every dollar requires fresh effort. The wealthy design their work so each unit of effort can be monetized again and again without starting from scratch. The core of build once, sell forever. When you create something that can be replicated at little to no extra cost, you separate effort from earning. That means your time investment happens once, but the earning potential continues indefinitely. This is why wealthy people love assets, intellectual property, and systems, because these can be sold, licensed, or distributed without having to be rebuilt. Examples of build once, sell forever. Digital products. An ebook written once can sell thousands of copies worldwide for years. A video course recorded once can be sold on autopilot to new students every day. Software and tools. An app developed once can serve millions of users with only minor updates. A website template or plugin can be sold repeatedly with no limit on copies. Creative works. Music, stock photos, or designs can be licensed endlessly.
A screenplay can generate royalties every time it's used or adapted. Systems and processes. A franchised business model can be replicated in multiple locations without the owner running each one. A proven marketing funnel can be applied to different products over and over. Why most people miss this opportunity? Short-term thinking. They focus on the next paycheck instead of building assets that outlive the work. Perfectionism. They keep improving instead of launching, delaying the first sale. Fear of failure. They avoid the upfront investment of time or money needed to create something lasting. How to apply build once, sell forever in your life. Identify something you do repeatedly that could be packaged. Example, if you answer the same client questions over and over, turn them into a guide or video training. Choose a format that scales. Digital is often best for early stages because distribution is cheap and global. Automate the selling process. Use e-commerce platforms, email funnels, or content marketing so sales happen without your presence. Refine over time, not before launch. Perfection can come later. The first step is to get your asset into the world. The multiplier effect. Here's the magic. Once you have one asset that sells forever, you can create another and another. Each one stacks on top of the last, creating multiple streams of income, all built on work you only had to do once. Money velocity. How the rich keep their money moving fast. If scaling is the engine of wealth, money velocity is the RPM, the speed at which your capital moves through the system to create more capital. The wealthy understand a truth that most people overlook. Money that just sits still is losing power. Money that moves strategically is multiplying power. What is money velocity? In simple terms, money velocity is how quickly a unit of currency changes hands and creates new value. If you earn $1 and let it sit in a low-interest account, its velocity is almost zero, and inflation is eating it alive. If you earn $1, invest it in something that earns a return, then roll that return into the next opportunity, your velocity accelerates, and so does your wealth. Why velocity matters more than just saving? Most people are taught to save money and let it sit. While saving is important for security, it's not a growth strategy. Wealthy people prioritize turning their money over, moving it into assets, opportunities, and systems that generate more cash flow, which can then be reinvested. The more times your dollar works in a year, the faster it compounds. The poor versus rich money flow. Poor middle class. Earn, spend, repeat. Money exits the system permanently after each spend. Wealthy. Earn, invest, earn more, reinvest, multiply. Money stays in motion, generating returns multiple times per year. A real example of velocity in action. Imagine two people each with $10,000. Person A puts it in a savings account at 1% interest. After a year, they have $10,100, and inflation has eaten more than they earned. Person B uses the $10,000 to buy inventory for a small e-commerce store. They sell the inventory in 2 months, doubling their money to $20,000, then reinvest into more inventory. After repeating the cycle 6 times, they multiplied their starting capital far beyond what saving could achieve. Same starting point, different velocity, dramatically different outcomes. The keys to increasing money velocity. Shorter cycles. Choose investments or business activities with faster turnaround times. Example, a service that invoices weekly instead of monthly, or products with quick restocking cycles. Reinvestment discipline. Don't let returns sit idle. The moment cash comes in, allocate it to the next growth opportunity. Leverage. Use the returns from one stream to fuel the growth of another. Example, use profits from digital product sales to fund paid ads, which bring in more sales. Systemization. Have a clear process for how money flows from income to reinvestment to return, so nothing gets stuck in waiting mode. Common mistakes that kill money velocity. Hoarding cash out of fear. Keeps you safe, but slows growth to a crawl. Spending windfalls immediately. Removes capital from the system before it multiplies. Overcomplicating investments. Long, complex deals with no cash flow tie up money for too long. How to apply money velocity at any income level. Track how long it takes for your money to return to you after you put it to work. Find ways to shorten that cycle without increasing risk. Commit to reinvestment. Make it a rule, not an option. Stack high-velocity opportunities with slower long-term investments for stability. Bottom line, you don't get rich by working harder and saving slower. You get rich by making each dollar work faster, smarter, and more often. The wealthy think of their money like employees, and idle employees get fired. Every dollar must have a job, a deadline, and a return.
Reinvesting profits, the fuel for exponential growth. If money velocity is the speed of your wealth engine, reinvesting profits is how you keep the fuel tank full and then double it every lap. Here's the truth the wealthy live by. The fastest way to grow is to feed your business or investment machine with its own wins instead of consuming them. Most people treat profit as a reward to be spent. The wealthy treat profit as capital to be redeployed. Why reinvesting is so powerful? When you earn a profit and put it back into the system, you're compounding two things at once: the principal, the amount of money working for you, and the output capacity, the size of the system generating the returns. This is why businesses that reinvest aggressively in their early years often see explosive growth, while those that pull out too much too soon stagnate. The poor versus rich profit mindset. Poor middle class. Earn, pay expenses, spend leftover on lifestyle upgrades. Growth stops because profit is consumed. Wealthy. Earn, pay expenses, reinvest majority of profit into growth, let lifestyle lag behind. Growth accelerates because profit fuels more profit. The law of profit allocation. One powerful approach the wealthy use is the profit split rule, a disciplined way to decide where every dollar of profit goes. For example, 50% back into growth, marketing, staff, inventory, R&D. 30% into long-term investments like real estate, index funds, dividends. 20% for lifestyle and personal use. The percentages can change, but the principle is the same. Growth gets fed first. Real-world examples of reinvestment in action. Amazon. For years, Amazon reinvested nearly all its profits into expanding warehouses, developing Prime, and building AWS. Shareholders waited for dividends, but when the reinvestment paid off, the value of their shares exploded. Small-scale example. A coffee shop owner uses monthly profits to open a second location instead of upgrading their car. 2 years later, they own 4 shops, and the upgrade for the car is paid for by passive profits from the new branches. The temptation to pull out early. One of the biggest killers of exponential growth is pulling profits for lifestyle upgrades before the system has reached its potential. That new car delays your expansion by 6 months. That bigger house could have been your next investment property. Wealthy people delay gratification because they know that a dollar reinvested today could be $10 a few years from now. The compounding effect. Reinvestment works like a snowball rolling downhill. Year 1, you start with a small snowball, your initial capital. Year 2, you roll it into the profits from year 1. Year 3, the snowball is so big it starts picking up mass faster than you can push it.
By year 5 or 10, the growth feels almost automatic, but it's built on the discipline of reinvesting early. How to apply this principle immediately? Decide your reinvestment percentage now. Don't wait until the profit arrives. Separate reinvestment funds into a dedicated account so they're never mistaken for spending money. Spend reinvestment money only on growth drivers, things that directly increase revenue or efficiency. Track ROI on each reinvestment to ensure you're putting fuel in the right places. Bottom line, reinvesting profits is how the wealthy turn a modest stream into a roaring river. Every time you choose to grow your engine instead of upgrade your lifestyle, you're buying freedom in the future. Freedom that will last far longer than any temporary luxury. Measurement and optimization. You can't scale what you don't measure. Scaling without measurement is like trying to drive faster with your eyes closed. You might move for a while, but you won't know if you're headed in the right direction, and sooner or later, you'll crash. The wealthy understand that data is the steering wheel of scaling. Without it, you're not scaling, you're gambling. Why measurement matters. Every scaling decision, whether to invest more, hire, expand, or automate, should be based on measurable results. If you don't know what's working, you can't double down on it. If you don't know what's failing, you can't fix it before it drains your resources. The key metrics that drive scaling, while metrics vary by business or investment type, there are universal numbers the wealthy track obsessively. CAC, Customer Acquisition Cost. How much does it cost you to get a paying customer? If your CAC is too high, scaling will burn cash instead of making it. LTV, Lifetime Value of a Customer. How much is a customer worth over their entire relationship with you? Wealthy entrepreneurs scale only when LTV is far higher than CAC. Conversion rate, the percentage of people who take the desired action, buy, sign up, or invest after engaging with your offer. ROI, return on investment, the profit compared to what you invested. Without knowing ROI, you can't judge whether scaling is profitable. Churn rate, for subscription models, the percentage of customers leaving over a period. Scaling without addressing churn is like pouring water into a leaking bucket. The optimization loop. Measurement alone isn't enough. You need a process for acting on the data. The wealthy follow a simple loop. Test, measure, improve, scale. Test, launch a small-scale version of a campaign, product, or service. Measure, collect data on performance against your key metrics. Improve, fix bottlenecks, refine messaging, adjust pricing. Scale, once it's profitable and predictable, expand aggressively. Why most people skip this step? They rely on gut feeling instead of data. They don't track properly. No analytics tools, no clear KPIs. They think measurement is too technical, so they avoid it entirely. But here's the reality. Skipping measurement makes scaling dangerous. You might pour resources into something that's actually losing money. Practical tools for measuring and optimizing. Google Analytics, or GA4, track website traffic and conversions. CRM systems like HubSpot and Salesforce track customer interactions and sales. Ad Manager dashboards measure ad performance and cost per result. Spreadsheets. For small operations, even a simple sheet tracking income, expenses, CAC, and ROI can be game-changing. The wealthy mindset toward measurement. The wealthy treat measurement as an investment, not a chore. Every data point is a decision-making asset. Every tracked number reduces risk. Every optimization increases efficiency, making scaling faster and safer. Bottom line, you can't scale what you don't measure. Scaling without data is like sailing without a compass. You might move, but you'll rarely end up where you want to go. When you measure, you can steer. When you optimize, you can accelerate.
Cross-border scaling, expanding into international markets.
Once a system works in one market, the wealthy ask a simple question. If it works here, why can't it work everywhere? Cross-border scaling is one of the most powerful ways to multiply results because instead of reinventing the wheel, you're simply rolling it into new territory. This approach has taken small brands global, turned local services into international franchises, and transformed personal projects into worldwide empires. Why international expansion is a scaling multiplier. When you expand into a new country or region, you're not just adding more customers, you're multiplying the reach of your existing system. The product, marketing, and operations are already proven. You're just adapting them for a new audience. It's like cloning your winning formula and letting it run in parallel in multiple places at once. Forms of cross-border scaling. Exporting products. Selling physical goods to new regions via direct shipping, distribution partners, or marketplaces like Amazon Global. Digital expansion. Offering online courses, apps, or content in multiple languages and currencies. Leveraging platforms with global reach like YouTube, Shopify, and app stores. Franchising. Licensing your business model to local partners who run it under your brand. Licensing and partnerships. Letting local businesses use your intellectual property, brand, or technology in exchange for royalties. The challenges and how the wealthy solve them. 1. Cultural fit. Problem. What works in one culture might not resonate in another. Solution. Work with local advisors or partners who understand the market. Adapt branding, marketing, and even product features to local tastes. 2. Legal and regulatory differences. Problem. Different countries have different laws, taxes, and compliance requirements. Solution. Use specialized international legal and tax experts to ensure compliance before launching. 3. Logistics and supply chain. Problem. Longer distances mean higher shipping costs, customs delays, and possible quality issues. Solution. Use local manufacturing or fulfillment centers to reduce cost and delivery times. Case studies. Starbucks adapted its menu for each country. Matcha lattes in Japan, dulce de leche drinks in Latin America, while keeping the core brand consistent. Netflix scaled globally by translating content, creating region-specific originals, and adjusting pricing for local economies. Small e-commerce sellers have doubled or tripled sales simply by translating their stores and marketing into a second language. A simple 4-step framework for cross-border scaling. Validate international demand. Use online tools like Google Trends and Amazon Global Rankings to gauge interest. Adapt the offer. Language, currency, payment methods, and cultural preferences all matter. Choose the entry strategy: direct-to-consumer, partnership, licensing, or franchising. Leverage digital distribution first. Start online before committing to costly physical expansion. Bottom line, cross-border scaling is how the wealthy turn a single successful system into a global revenue engine. It's not about building a new business in each country. It's about multiplying one proven model across many markets. If it works in one place, it can work in 10 if you adapt it smartly. Sustainable scaling, keeping growth without crashing. Scaling is intoxicating. The sales charts climb, the revenue surges, and the opportunities keep pouring in. But here's the truth the wealthy never forget. Growth can kill you if you can't control it. Just like a car, it's not the speed that's dangerous, it's losing control at speed. The hidden risk of scaling too fast. When growth outpaces your ability to manage it, several dangerous problems appear. Overloaded systems. Orders can't be fulfilled, service quality drops, and customers leave. Cash flow strain. Sales grow, but expenses grow faster, and suddenly you're out of money. Burnout. You and your team push harder and harder,
until the stress breaks something or someone. Reputation damage. Scaling too fast without quality control leads to mistakes that erode trust. The wealthy's rule is to scale to the limit of your infrastructure. Before the wealthy push for aggressive expansion, they ask, can the system handle double the orders? Can customer support the influx? Can the supply chain deliver without breaking? If the answer is no, they strengthen the foundation first, because they know scaling a weak structure multiplies the cracks. The 3 pillars of sustainable scaling. 1. Capacity planning. Forecast what your business would need if demand doubled. Build or secure those resources before the demand arrives. 2. Controlled growth rates. Don't always chase the maximum possible speed. Target a growth rate that allows for consistent quality, healthy cash flow, and manageable stress levels. 3. Continuous feedback loops. Implement systems that constantly monitor performance, customer satisfaction, and operational efficiency. Use the data to correct course quickly. Real-world examples. Zappos prioritized customer service over immediate profit, ensuring their scaling never compromised the customer experience. Patagonia scaled gradually, aligning growth with sustainability goals to protect both the brand and the planet. Many tech startups that scaled too quickly without sustainable systems burned out, their rapid rise followed by an equally rapid collapse. How to keep growth without crashing. Document and automate processes so they can be replicated without bottlenecks. Build financial buffers. Keep reserves to absorb unexpected costs. Scale in phases. Stabilize each level before moving to the next. Maintain brand integrity. Never sacrifice your core values for short-term gains. The final mindset shift. Scaling isn't just about how fast, it's about how long. Anyone can sprint for a quarter. Sustainable scaling means you can keep growing year after year without burning out your team, your systems, or yourself. Closing thought for the entire series. If you followed from part 1 to part 20, you've seen the full picture. Why tracing raises is slow. How scaling creates freedom. The tools, systems, and mindset shifts that make it possible. The discipline required to grow without breaking. The next step isn't to memorize this, it's to apply one principle today. Build one asset, create one system, take one step away from trading hours for money and towards building something that pays you whether you're working or not. Because wealth doesn't wait for permission, and neither should you.